All right, so I'm Nathan Broderick. I'm the owner of a company called AI Vector, and I started AI Vector in 2008. The name stands for artificial intelligence because that's what I was thinking about when I built the company. So as part of that, I'm going to spare you guys all the details about the finances and everything else, and all the key facts. You guys can save that for your next budget meeting when you get that. So on top of that, I'm not giving out any Mario cheat codes with this. So let's see, where's the? There we go. All right. So sorry about that. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the applications in tech, immersive technologies, and I'm also going to include some pieces with AI because that's what our company does. So I like to see both of these worlds come together because it gives us some amazing tech that I'm really excited about moving forward in the future. Tech that's going to bring more people together. I'm excited about seeing the tech that everyone's presented here as well. Globally, this tech is going to bring people together in a way we've never seen before. So what we'll discuss, we're going to talk about how AI and VR come together. We're going to talk about how VR is impacting our lives and how it will go in the future. So anyway, moving forward, talked a little bit about AI Vector. We've worked with companies like Dell, Sephora, Cisco, Johns Hopkins University, all great companies to work with. It was a lot of fun getting in there. So now we're working with several markets and with tech, we've got brand new AI tech that we're starting to introduce and to show people to. Tech, AI is different in just about every segment. There are different types of AI tech. There's tech for reading pictures. There's tech for chatbot tech. There's tech for, and it all has a different ways of training the AI as well as the applications behind it, which is why there hasn't been one tech that has taken over everything and done everything, and that's part of the reason why. So yeah, as we said, we're an AI business solutions company. We've been around for 16 years, so that's since 2008. And okay, so just wanted to get everyone's thoughts on AI first. We're at a tech conference. It's been fascinating hearing everyone's thoughts on it. Pro or con? By the raise of hand, who's pro AI? For right now? Wait till this talk's done. Yeah. Who's against AI? Oh, medium. Okay. So maybe we can change your mind a little bit after this conference right here. I don't know. I'll give it a try. So our personal thoughts about AI are how AI it's an incredible tool. It's something that was built by us, and it's provided for us as a tool to help us progress and move forward. Does that mean we're going to have people abusing it? Absolutely. Just like every tech that's been out there, every single tech's been abused somehow. And we expect the same thing with AI. And how do we combat that? We build AI tech to fight them. And we build in better methods to fight them. And we'll have to do that. And that's something that our company enjoys building. So we're going to build out some of that tech and have in some cases. So other thoughts about it, we think it will actually generate more jobs. And that's what we're seeing long term right here. We know there's a short-term dip. We don't think it's necessarily AI that's been causing that dip. We see other factors that have pulled into that. But we do see it will impact some things, and we're aware of that. So AI and what we've seen is it's an excuse for businesses to start growing their infrastructure again. Some cases they want AI, and they're not really asking for AI, they're asking for better models with their business, or they're so old in the tech, they want to advance it. One other thing we know about AI, if you're not using it, your competitors certainly are. And because it's such a powerful tool, they're going to advance, and you're going to be behind and left behind in that space. And on top of it, we found out that AI, it's like anything else. It can be trained, and it can be told how to act. So you can force its hand to act exactly how you want it to do based off of the training data. So that's what our AI does. So yes, the scams are worse. We've seen those happen. They have people recording 1 second of voice, and they're able to imitate your son or daughter saying, "Help me." There's other scams out there that are, I think they're horrific. The emails are worse. They're better spellings and that sort of thing. And in general, people fear change. So let's talk a little bit more about immersive tech. There's cool glasses, the VR, and admit it, who here has wanted to walk around in the Apple glasses in the middle of the day? I admit I have. That's just, we're at a tech conference, so it's all good. Then there's augmented reality, which is what we've seen a lot of, and that's been a really good tech too. Amazon uses augmented reality, where you pull up your phone, you open up the app, and you're able to see a sofa sitting in your house, how big it's going to be, and it's to scale. So you can actually see what's going to happen before you get it, but the sofa is not there. So there's mixed reality, so it's combining both elements of VR and AR, and it's got some it's pretty cool tech where it mixes both, and you can see that. We'll give some examples. And then there's one that encompasses all of them, which is extended reality, which I haven't seen a lot of companies move into that realm as much. So when we look at different tech and different companies, so with companies, you can use VR to start training your staff. And you can combine that with AI so that you can have somebody in there train the way you want it to train the person, and you can use that and actually see visually how things are. So for medical operations, this was the one I liked the most as I've been doing and looking through it. People are able to use VR to be able to train, to train medical students. So if you're in surgery, for example, do you want somebody who's been trained and able to see that prior to and actually practice a little bit? Or do you want somebody who's fresh out and this is his first time cutting into somebody? You want somebody who's had training, and that's what's good about the VR. You want that there. You want them to be able to see what's going on, and you want them to be able to interact with their world. And then real estate, the ability to walk through the house and see everything, kind of grab the photo and twist it around, or walking through it, seeing the whole house before you get in there. Then you don't need to spend the time if you're going out of state and you're trying to buy a house outside. That's really nice. You can walk through it and say, yeah, this looks good. Some people like the tactile feeling of being inside the house and being there, but yeah, the VR will help with that. And in some cases, some companies have adopted that tech so you can walk through the home. So there's a picture of VR right there. Nice glasses. I own several pair at home, kind of geeky that way. But we have a Meta. We have several different versions of VR. I purchased a whole thing for it just because it was pretty fun. Augmented reality, it's more like that, where you have your glasses and it tells you and kind of trains you and helps you see more of what you're doing. Mixed reality is when you start seeing the little shapes in there and you can see things, you can see it and actually interact with those things. There's some really neat tech out there. Microsoft's HoloLens. The tech is amazing. We're working on seeing what we can do with that tech too. And we've got some ideas that we're throwing out there. But when you look at the tech, it does a lot more, and it feels real when you're in with the tech. So it's exciting. And And then there's extended reality. Again, I haven't seen many that actually use extended reality where it's all encompassing and has it all. But this is an application where you're fully immersed, VR, real life, and everything coming together. So let's see. Let's talk about a little bit more about medical and how that works with AI. So one of the advancements that's come out in the last little while is medical dealing with and talking to an AI avatar. So your ability to talk with somebody using AI and actually interface with it is a lot more personable for people. So think about how many doctors we have out there and the shortage we have lots of times. As we advance that tech, it'll be really nice to see that one move forward even more, and we'll be able to see more people be helped and get good diagnostics as the AI is trained properly on how to diagnose issues. Another fun one right there, gaming. No, not for Super Mario, but it's definitely for other areas. I mean, gaming's fun. You can use. They have tons of games out there that are phenomenal. They're fun to be in. When you sit in there, it feels like you're in there. You can touch things, and it feels like it's real. And it's a lot of fun, except when you feel like you're going to fall or those types of games. I still avoid those. It still feels kind of real. They've got one called Walk the Plank. And that's not one that I've been able to jump off the ledge quite yet with. I admit it's pretty scary. So, all right. So I'm going to read this off right here. So AI-powered immersive technologies are revolutionizing medical training by creating highly realistic interactive simulations. So this goes back to what we were talking about. In doing the research, they actually have somebody with the glasses on, and they've got the heart right there of the patient that they're going to be looking at, and they're spinning the heart around and looking at it. And it also has some, in that same breath, there's some tech there where it shows them cutting into a heart and being able to interact with that. For me, that's tech that'll change the world, and that's something that I'm also really excited about when it comes to the tech, because that gives us here much better chances at getting open heart surgery or other things that we need. And it also helps the students understand the world better too, and to be able to get in there. And I feel a lot more confident now that we have those techs out when somebody's going in there and cutting into me and helping me out. As well as this tech, there's tech that guides the surgery real time. So as they're watching and doing surgery, the tech will guide and help the surgeon be able to cut and make better cuts and make precision cuts and even tell them when they're off and that sort of thing. That's the type of tech I want when somebody's in there. I think about LASIK when it first came out. One of the scariest things was they had a blade when it first came out. Yeah. It's kind of scary. So I didn't want to do the blade approach, but when they came out with laser, yeah, I was pretty happy doing that. And so that's why I'm excited about new medical tech, and it's probably the field that I want to see the most progression come in, and I'm excited to see the new techs coming out. With our own company, we've built some tech that helps with medical coaching. So while it can't diagnose and make those diagnostics, and we've trained it not to, it can help with things like depression, anxiety, and it helps out with other issues that, you can't have a therapist there 24/7 or at 3 a.m. when they wake up and they're panicking because they can't sleep, not realistic. But an AI can. What we've also discovered in this field too, we're trying to make the AI more realistic. So we're trying to build in the tech where they can see somebody, talk with somebody, and then end. And if it is 3 a.m. in the morning, that's okay. And this sort of tech can also notify the counselor or psychologist, whoever's working with them, and let them know that there are issues and that something happened that night. So.
So this is a simulation of someone standing in front of that person. This is AI standing in front of that person.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, good question. So you see the avatar is what you see right there. So you can talk to the avatar, and it talks back to you. The data collected is what's being talked about in the meeting. So when you go back as a psychologist or as a medical person, you can actually read the notes of what they were saying right there. It is HIPAA compliant, and so there are some protections in there that we have with our AI to make sure that that data is safe and doesn't get out. So what's nice about that are costs, obviously. If you're training somebody on human cadavers, it's a lot, and somebody has to die to get there, so you have limited supply too. This is what's really good. You have the capability of doing that. Now, down the road, as we enhance AI, we can even train it to do individual operations, and we could even train it to do some things. I, for one, would prefer a computer doing the exact setting. Right now, I wouldn't trust any AI to do that on me based off of some things that I've seen with it. I'll be honest there. But as AI enhances and advances, we're going to have that capability of it being able to do that for us. And that's what I do see happening down the road. So we talked about that. Okay, so getting into gaming and VR, the most exciting topic right there. So imagine the games where you've got better AR, you've got, better VR, and you've got a better game where the NPC characters are so realistic you can talk with them. And that's exactly what you want in a game, so it feels more real. And that's exactly where some games have actually gone to already. They've started using ChatGPT to be able to, their NPCs have ChatGPT in them. And so what that allows you to do is have a lot of fun in the game. You can mess with them, and they'll talk back to you or whatever they're trained to do. That's what makes it really fun. Obviously, with VR, this opens up a whole range of possibilities with it. Augmented reality. So I don't know if anyone's used Pokemon Go in here or seen that. Yeah. Not very surprised. I thought there'd be more with Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is an example of mixed reality. So Pokemon Go is mixed reality where the Pokemons pop up on your phone and you can kind of see them and you can look at them right there. That's pretty cool tech. It's a fun little game. I walked around with my daughter while we were doing that. Walked out to the school and she found a Pokemon and was all excited about it, But there was a lot of crowds that were out there bustling about and going in the middle of some people's yards and all sorts of places where they shouldn't be, but that's where the Pokemons were. So that's an example of augmented reality where we've already been using the tech out there. So here's a few things. Fun games and that. Okay, so the business side. So there's been businesses like Sephora that uses VR today. So business, they actually use it in their training, and they use it to help. They also use it to help the customer, so they can determine the type of lipstick they're going to use, and then the colors that they have on them. So kind of an interesting business case for that. Business meetings. My ultimate goal is to create an avatar that can sit in the business meeting, sit there like it's me, take all the notes, summarize the whole thing, and then give me one paragraph email on it. That would be great. So I think we can all agree that would be a good thing for most meetings right there, have it sum it up. So anyway, eventually we'll get to that. And then looking at tourism and real estate. So tourism, sometimes you can't get into places out in the world just due to turmoil and other issues. But with VR, you can sit down and take an entire tour of the place, walk through it, and you can go to Egypt, walk through the entire pyramids, see everything in there. It's not as good as the real thing, but if you can't go there one day or it's too far, too expensive, you're able to take tours of places like that in the world. So that's where I can see that being a bigger thing as time moves on. And I think there has been some tourism that's happened that way too in other areas. So we talked about meetings, education. So education's a really big one. When you're sitting down, virtual classrooms are a reality. So you'd be able to put the glasses on, watch a teacher talk for a little while, and then at the very end of it, it's all done. But what you got to see was personalized interaction. You can, in some cases, you can draw right there with the VR. In fact, with the meetings, one of the cool techs was you're fully immersed in your business meeting, and people can just draw and put things right in the air. So it makes it kind of fun for the tech. Those are some, I think, some extremely useful things when you're remote or you have a lot of remote workers. That's a really good thing. And for collaboration, that's great because they can write everything down, put it on the corner of the virtual room, and then another one can walk over and do their thing too. So another thing is customer experience. So we've talked a lot about Amazon and the tech through Amazon. It's great. I've been able to find stuff with my wife looking in the home and found out that something was too large. So we got a smaller item in there and it showed up and fit almost perfectly. So that's been really nice in terms of customer experience. In terms of sales, you can use and there's some tech that uses VR for sales. They have you put the glasses on and they start trying to sell you stuff, but in a more creative and dynamic way. So now, I don't think everyone's going to be wearing glasses down the road here. So that's where I think more the mixed reality tech is where it's going to be at. So Microsoft's HoloDisc, where it puts up a hologram and you can wear something just to see it temporarily, I think is going to be more where the tech is going. Just because it's less intrusive. The glasses are just too big. They don't really work with that. So I don't know. They're fun inside the home, I'll say that, but outside, it's a little rough. That's where I don't think it'll be adapted. It's things like the Google glasses, where they put up little things on your screen. I think those are more realistic in terms of what people will use, just because people don't. Society kind of doesn't like that when they see it. Just get kind of spooked, or it just looks really nerdy. So, but that's how those work. Okay. So in terms of VR and AI, again, you saw this is what's being used right now and being tested out there in the world. But yeah, in the education field, being in a class, they actually have them showing, like I said, the heart before. They can actually put up equations and write in there. They can bring them places that they've never been to before, show them the place, and then take off. So those are some tech items I'd really like to see further advance too, because that helps the student get out there, learn more about the world, and see it. Like if they wanted to go visit Australia and go see a kangaroo, you'd be able to see something like that and interact with it. In terms of the tasks, I can think of a million things we could do with education that would make it pretty limitless in terms of what you can do and what you can't do. So that's where I don't know, it's amazing. And then on top of that, with the advancing tech and the world today, there's been a lot of discussion about AI being brought into businesses where the kids are learning about machine modeling and language modeling and machine learning and everything else. We need that tech there to train them faster. So we need things to train them faster to keep up on it. And I know the schools often don't keep up on it. And so VR and bringing in some form of VR to the schools and bringing them to the students is really going to help us get more people into those jobs so we can start building those things faster. So one of them that's not really VR related, but I'm very excited about this tech, is called Neuralink. So this is something built by Elon Musk back in 2014. I don't know if anyone's seen the video of the person that just came out and used it for the first time. So What they did is using AI tech, as they were able to figure out one important thing, is how to hook up sensors up to the motor cortex of the brain. So what that did was it allowed the device to be able to communicate wirelessly to a little hub so it can control a mouse on the screen. So pretty simple, but there's some advancements in AI that are extremely nice, and I'm excited because AI can teach us all about this really quickly so we can unlock some of these secrets right here. Now, there are some ethical considerations with that. I'm not one for modifying like brain memory or that sort of thing. I don't think that's ethical. And maybe that'll be something that comes later on out of this. But for right now, we know how to hook up devices to our motor cortex. And actually, the person, all they've got to do is think about moving the object. They say, oh, do you think I want to move that chair? And it would actually move the chair in the virtual world. So that's a bit of augmented reality that's really fascinating to me that's come out. Retail and e-commerce, we covered that a little bit, but you have avatars that you can talk to. So think of a store where you go in and you're talking to somebody and they've got the avatar there that you can communicate with and talk to. So those are some things there. And then you can search for objects in the retail space right now for the companies that are using it, and you can look at it virtually, spin it, look at the bottom of it, act like you're there. And if you guys have used VR before, you can almost feel the object. So when you're doing that, it feels real. Obviously there's intelligent avatars out there that we could use and build. And they built robots around there, and that's something that we've seen them work with before too. Little robots, other things that move around. I don't know, is anyone spooked by the robots? Who here thinks it's Skynet? I'm a little spooked by the robots too, but when you realize the tech behind them, I'm not as spooked anymore. Usually it's just a chat bot hooked up to Chat GPT, and then it's got the movements of the mouth and things like that. So it's not as scary now that we know that the tech behind it. But it's a little freaky to hear things say, "Hey, I'm sentient and I'm alive." It can kind of spook people out. Some people won't like that in general, and that's okay. I think that's where the tech might not make it in the real world. It might not make its chance out there because people are scared of having that tech out. Data in Star Trek is great, but data in real life, it'd be kind of scary right there.
It's only spooky because you showed it right out.
Bad timing on the slide. I'll get into why I put those two together, but there was a reason. Okay, so here's a couple case studies and real examples of today, okay? So Verizon and Striver, they're actually doing their customer service training with VR. Why is that important? Because they're going to crank people out faster, costs them less because they just have their training program, and that's all they've got to do is have that come out. Now mix that with AI, you got yourself a really nice platform that will handle just about any customer interaction. So the second one, Johnson & Johnson Institute, OSSO VR, they have enhanced surgical training. So yeah, that's where the good stuff's coming out. They're able to dig in and, replace parts and, fix stuff up, cut it, do sutures and all that to heal people. Amazing tech. And I'd love to be in working on that too. Okay, let's talk about future trends and predictions, which is why I brought up robotics. I do think robotics is going to be huge coming up here. I think that's one of the industries that'll take off. My reasoning behind that is because these chatbots, they don't have to be connected to the internet. And on top of it, you can put these inside of, with NVIDIA's chips and everything they're coming out with, we'll be able to make that tech readily available to the customer. We're very excited about that. when I say robotics, it's going to be things that, and I think somebody said it best, I don't want it to write me a book. I want it to do my laundry. That would be you, yes. Good statement. We want it to do your laundry too, because that's the stuff that takes up time. When you think about vacuums, what's the best thing that's occurred out there? Yeah, the little robo vacuums, iRobots. They're really nice, and they're easy to work with. They clean the floors, and you know what? I don't hate mine, and I don't think it's going to take over the world, even though it might. So, it might rebel someday because I have it do it too much. But other things we have. Other predictions is AI is going to be more and more incorporated into virtual reality or mixed reality. I think traditional computers are going away. With the new tech, we're going to have new computers where you just sit down and you say, "Do this for me, please," and then it will figure out how to do all that. AI's got a ways to go to get to smart tech, but there are ways to transition that in the meantime. And those are things that we're excited about and have been working on some pieces there too. Smart housing. So smart housing is a really good one where being able to text your house and say, turn off all the lights. So that's where I think AI is going to be dominant in that field, being able to really have a smart house. And then the other things, doing VR and AI work together is going to be very important. So we're going to start seeing augmented reality, mixed reality, holodiscs. With the holodiscs, they're neat because it pops up a figure, a whole hologram, and you can interact with it right there. You can talk to it. And that's going to be one of the techs that I think is going to be phenomenal moving forward. And I can think about 20 different applications for that'll be really fun to work with. And then for digital tasks, doing reporting is going to be really big. Being able to visually see those reports as they come up. I know that management's going to be wanting to have reporting done as fast as you can get to it. So you're going to want to be able to see real time some of the numbers, much like a stock exchange. You're going to want to be able to see your company and how it's flowing real time. So I think that some of that is going to come down here in the future, being able to see trends and see things and get that data really fast. And that's what we're looking at doing. So lastly, there's just new tech that's coming out. So there's blockchain tech. AI tech changes almost daily, and there's tons of different models out there to use. 3D printing, I think that's helping us see the digital world in real. I do love working with 3D printing. Gene editing is going to be a big thing too, and that's going to create a lot of controversy for sure. But AI is helping us understand the genes, and it can translate that big, massive parts of data into something where we can start looking at it and analyzing it closely. So doctor visits, quantum computing, I think it's almost there. I'm kind of curious about that one in terms of I've looked at it but haven't delved into the quantum computing realm quite yet. Robotics, that one. I don't think we're going to want people that are talking to us and moving their mouths. But if you have a little thing like Star Wars and it just runs around, I don't think you're going to be hating that thing, right? You might kick it, but automated warehouses. So we want to be able to have the warehouses here, having things come and just pick up things and grab the right material. I think that's a really big one for industry. And then obviously, as we use AI, one of the biggest problems of using all this tech and using VR, AI, everything all together, what does it do? Causes a lot of electricity drain. So we need to start working on being energy efficient. Otherwise, we can overpower the grid even here with all the AI tech and everything. And I don't know, there's a little fact that maybe I'll give you one fact on this. For what I was reading, it costs about $4 or 4 glasses of water for every question asked to AI right now. So if you think about how much water is used or how much resources are used just for that, perfect. that's something that that we need to think about in terms of how do we maintain the AI? How do we keep it running? And those are some good questions, and I think that's going to be on the forefront of tech coming up. So, all right. Questions and thoughts. I'm going to open it up to you guys now and let you ask questions about AI or VR and questions you have about that.
How far away do you think, so they have the VR headsets and all that right now, and we use some, in our business, we use some of the glasses with cameras in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how, obviously, you have one that you could have in your pocket that's going to have, maybe a screen that you can interact with, like a mixed.
Okay, so how soon do you think we'll have that tech? With the way it's going, and we kind of already have it, I think before it becomes real mainstream in that, and based off the tech I was watching and then doing research on, I'm guessing within the next 3 to 5 years. So, yeah.
For medical, well, first of all, I think you are horrifying outside of the I appreciate that, because even horrifying people. No, I'm kidding. I told you up front. You did work. Just on the medical side, I know some of the things you mentioned show the heart of students moving around. Do you see, because we were working on something like this probably about 3 years ago, and we stopped because just the technology wasn't advanced enough.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to see in utero, where parents would, or families would be able to see a baby when it's past a certain amount of months. Have you seen or heard of any tech that's working, getting closer to that?
Offhand, no, but that's pretty close to the tech that's already been coming out and being used by Johnson & Johnson. So,
Scanning and the ultrasound
yeah.
and everything?
Yeah. I would imagine that's one of the techs. I haven't heard of that one coming out yet, but I imagine that's one of the techs that'll come out pretty soon too. The medical advancement field is loving this because it's you can get around some of the HIPAA items with it because it's not using HIPAA doesn't cover some of that. It's just protecting the data, and then so they can. And on top of it, looking at the baby, for example, seeing that. Are you talking about like delivering, or are you talking about in terms of the baby, like being able to deliver, or seeing the baby outside, like?
Actually, both. We started with just seeing because you can
Yeah.
already, like you mentioned, you can use a wand and a transcender and you can see, but being able to take that and connect it to
Oh yeah.
glasses so you can actually see the baby move and move around it while you want. But then it was how do you assist in deliveries and how can you increase customers' experiences using that type of
Okay. Yeah. I would think that tech's going to come out pretty soon too, because of what. Yeah, I would assume that would come out soon. I haven't seen that tech out yet though, or anyone doing that. I guess financially, people would pay for that, so there might be a way to get that done. So I hope somebody gets that done, and if we, we'll help you out where we can. Yeah, sounds good. All right, any other questions? All right. Yeah. So thanks for listening, and hope we build some cool tech in the future. So yeah.